The Dance of the Dragons. A stupid name for a Targaryen civil war where my ancestors danced away my birthright. Before the war, House Targaryen counted 18 dragons. By the end, we had 2, and nearly as few Targaryens.
The realm. Do you know what the realm is? It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agreed to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another House of the Dragon update video. Well, my friends, we now have another official update from HBO. I think this is great news because it helps back up what I said in my last video. I don't know how many of you were able to see my last video, but I showed some information from a website that stated House of the Dragon will begin filming on April 5th. In that video, I said if filming does actually begin in only 8 weeks, then HBO will need to hire some more actors soon because up until then, they had only hired about 5 actors for the series so far. And as we all know, House of the Dragon will have a hell of a lot more characters than that. Well, it looks like that's exactly what they've done. The official social media accounts for Game of Thrones just released a statement about what other actors will be in the show. Now, if you're familiar with the Dance of Dragons, then you can already make an educated guess at what characters we will need to see. If you're not familiar with the Dance of Dragons, then I would highly recommend watching my video where I explain most of the major events surrounding this era in Westerosi history. I will link that video down below. If you watch that video, you will have a good idea about what we will most likely see happen in the new series, House of the Dragon. Now, if you're new around here and you feel lost, let me catch you up to speed. Let's go over to HBO's official website so you can find out what was just recently announced a few hours ago. The very first thing you see on their website is House Targaryen sigil, and it says House of the Dragon is coming very soon. This series will be based on George R.R. Martin's book Fire and Blood, which covers some of the history of House Targaryen. Now, it says this series will be set 300 years before the events of Game of Thrones, but I don't think that's accurate based on all the characters who we know will be in the show. The very first actor they hired on for the series was Paddy Considine, who will be King Viserys I Targaryen. His reign happened roughly 170 years before the events of Game of Thrones, not 300, like Aegon the Conqueror. They really should fix that on their website, unless they're holding back information we don't know. Now, according to their character descriptions, Viserys was chosen by the Lords of Westeros to succeed the old king Jaehaerys Targaryen at the Great Council at Harrenhal. He was a warm, kind, and decent man. Viserys only wishes to carry forward his grandfather's legacy, but as we've learned from Game of Thrones, good men do not necessarily make for great kings. Now, before Viserys dies, he names his daughter, Rhaenyra Targaryen, his heir to the Iron Throne. The reason why he did this was because he was not able to have any sons of his own for many years, but King Viserys does eventually remarry a woman named Otto Hightower, who will also be in the series. King Viserys and Alicent have several children together, including a son named Aegon Targaryen. Now, you would think since he finally had a son, he would name him his heir, but he doesn't. His daughter, Rhaenyra Targaryen, remains as his heir. Well, that is until he dies. As soon as King Viserys dies, his wife Alicent, as well as some other notable characters, make sure Aegon gets the throne before Rhaenyra, and this is what leads to the Targaryen Civil War, known as the Dance of Dragons. The actress Olivia Cooke will be Viserys Targaryen's wife Alicent Hightower. Actress Emma D'Arcy will be his daughter, Rhaenyra Targaryen, who he originally named as his heir. And Matt Smith will be one of my favorite characters in the series, Daemon Targaryen, brother of King Viserys. Daemon is known as arguably one of the greatest warriors from this era, so it should be really interesting to get to see this character brought to life. I know I can't wait. Alright, but now let's move on to the breaking news. Let me show you which actors HBO just hired and what characters they will portray. Now, before I attempt to read any further, I just want to let everyone know I do not know how to say some of these names. In fact, I've never seen some of these names before until now, so bear with me here and cut me some slack. The British actor Steve Toussaint, or Toussaint, will be our Lord Corlys Velaryon, aka the Sea Snake. The Lord of House Velaryon, a Valyrian bloodline as old as House Targaryen, the Sea Snake, is the most famed nautical adventurer in the history of Westeros. He built his house into a powerful seat that is even richer than the Lannisters and that claims the largest navy in the world. So it almost sounds like the Lannisters and the Greyjoys combined. Not only does he have fat stacks, but he also has a massive fleet of ships behind him. Actress Eve Best will be our Princess Rhaenys Velaryon. Now this character Rhaenys is a dragon rider, and she's also wife to the character I named before, Lord Corlys Velaryon. She was known as the Queen Who Never Was, who was passed over as the heir to the Iron Throne at the Great Council because the realm favored her cousin, Viserys, simply for being a male. Her and her husband will be fighting for Rhaenyra Targaryen. Now, I have no idea how to say the next name, but the actor, Rhys Ifans, will be Sir Otto Hightower, the father of Alicent Hightower, as well as the Hand of the King, who loyally and faithfully serves both his king and the realm. As the Hand sees it, the greatest threat to the realm is the king's brother Daemon, and his position as the heir to the throne. As you can see, these characters really do not like each other. And last, but certainly not least, we have actress Sonoya Mizuno as Mysaria. She came to Westeros with nothing, sold more times than she can recall, and she could have wilted, but instead, she rose to become the most trusted and most unlikely ally of Prince Daemon Targaryen, the heir to the throne. Again, if you want to know more about all of these characters and what roles they will have during the Dance of Dragons, I would suggest watching my other video that is linked down below. Like I said before, in that video, I explain all the different things we should see in House of the Dragon. Well, it's becoming even more official, my friends. We are one step closer to having Westeros back on our television screens. HBO has hired 4 more key characters to help fill out the respective sides of the Blacks and the Greens. Not only have they hired a handful of the main characters, but now they're starting to bring in some of their strongest supporters. Since we may only be about 8 weeks away from filming, I have a feeling there will be more announcements very soon. There are still a lot more characters they have to add to the series, and my guess is they're already in talks with other actors and actresses who may fit these roles. If you want to stay up to date with any and all information regarding House of the Dragon, you should consider subscribing to my channel now. I will be making lots of videos for the foreseeable future. Hopefully I will see all of you back here for the next one. I will see you again soon. Bye.